So our job as digital marketers is to get, whether you're in-house or an agency like us, is to make sure that wherever people are starting their journey, that your brand is there. Our clients' brands are right there. And ideally, it's totally the right message at the right time and the right form factor. We have to capture the right form factor, the right channel at the right time. Facebook is the sun and blah, 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 and all these other platforms or whatever. I was like, no, Facebook is Uranus. And your website is the sun. It's the center of the universe. It is unchanging power supply because you control every aspect of your website. All I control on Facebook is the posts I put up, and occasionally Facebook will control those, and the information about my business. You may own the content you post, but they control how it's fed and who sees it. It's better to use the tools to automate general outreach, but as you get down the funnel, the goal is to be more and more personal. If brands like Verizon, not to single out my carrier, were to spend as much on customer service reps as they do on the IVR system that automates all that, they'd have better trained, happier customer service reps that give you a positive experience, thus creating marketing opportunities instead of complaints. And so that's where I challenge my brands is the clients I work with is spend money in the right place so that the consumer feels loved and appreciated. And these tools are only enablers. They're not the solution. I hate the word solution. I've been working in B2B too long, even though the majority of our clients are consumer facing. Solution is a stop word in our agency. It is the end user has to feel appreciated. So the seamlessness, the technology can aid that, but at some point a human has to come in and say, thank you for building a relationship with us. How can I help you? Or here's what you asked for. You want to set up a time to talk.
The farther you get down into the funnel, the more personalized the conversation should be, right? That's just a good way of kind of, I think, thinking about this. I had a client literally last week. She does Facebook ads that are, to start a messenger conversation. So the messenger objective. And she has a free trial for her online fitness solutions. And I asked her, I said, why do you do the messenger conversations? I thought I knew the answer, right? And why don't you just put a link directly over to sign up for the free trial? And she said, I wouldn't get any free trials. And she said, but if I put the conversation, then people are willing to, and she said, I'm not getting on a phone call for a half hour, right? I'm having a conversation and I'm able to relate as a human, right? And she said, and then the conversions, soar.
That automation is very powerful, but it is very deadly. Use at your own risk, like a handgun, meaning oftentimes it's used against you. So for the high touch luxury brands, it's very, very dangerous. I am not going to buy anything Gucci for anything other than maybe my wife, if she even cared. And then I'm going to see Gucci ads everywhere. I'm going to be completely turned off by that. I guess what I've liked most about digital marketing over the years is that you don't have to be a big company to look really huge, right? It just have to be very, very smart and use these platforms well so that you might be geo-targeting or geo-fencing a 1 mile radius of an intense group of people, and they think you are everywhere through active search, organic, paid ads, retargeting, over-the-top streaming. You're even sponsoring a podcast that has a high listenership in that area. And they think you're as big as IBM or Microsoft or Facebook even when you're a 2-person company. Anything more than half a dozen personas is, unless you have dedicated teams to each persona, and then they're all beautifully stitched together with an integrated team that's all talking to each other, it's a waste of time. You should never have more than 3 core values, because if nobody will remember it, especially employees, and I can remember our core values, but I used to have 5, and I couldn't tell you more than 2. So 10 years ago, I went down to 3 core values, and boy, it just makes everything easier. So that's how I feel about total engagement is you should have a real key sense of your 3 to 5 core buyers, and you've mapped the journey out for each of them, the customer journey, and you've mapped out those touch points. Whether I love or hate Facebook makes no difference as long as it's proven to generate a relationship of trust that leads to a sale and that everybody wins. If you don't rely on technology at all, you can't scale. So you have to just be very smart about how you use the technology and be very jaded about what these tools can really do.